What up? What up? What's up? Oh, the camera looks good. Happy October 6th, 2021. Before I get in this video, I want to say salute. Cheers. But I also want to throw a little rep in for my little JBL pill right here. This little bad boy, I love it. This is the Flip 5. It's got the little bass speed on the edges. This thing is a must-have. Waterproof. Got a cool little waterproof box it floats in. It's just great. I love this thing. I recommend it. JBL Flip 5. Beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment. Holds a good charge. Very durable. I listen to this thing every day. Okay? Just want to throw it out there. JBL, you ever want to hit me up? Hit me up. Along with my MV7 Shure microphone. Plugs right into your phone. No auxiliary cables needed, just right into your phone. Let that bad boy warm up a little bit before you start doing your lives, though, 'cause that's what I'm running off of right now. Let me make sure the microphone is nice and clean. Jelly bean. My neighbors is out here making noise, which is fine. But the other day we had a big thunderstorm, and I couldn't even hear the thunder in the background until I put it through my JBL, and that's what gave me the idea. I go, oh no, the thunder did came through because it didn't come out my phone. But when I put it through the JBL, I can hear that smooth thunder rolling. Thunder rolling. There's some song that's like that. I don't remember. But anyways, with that being said, friend came back. Getting a little bit of story about what he went through the last year. I haven't seen him like a year. Dude lives 15 minutes from me, but I haven't seen him in a year. It doesn't matter because we're friends like that. So I knew he was out doing his thing and whatever. He hits me up. He said, "Hey, you want to catch lunch in a movie? Let's go see the Venom movie." We both know that it's probably going to be a letdown, but we went and saw it anyway, and it was all right. Do my movie review pronto. All right. With that being said, he actually was out. He went and bought a little bit of property in the Midwest, I think out in the Carolinas. With that being said, he drove there from right here from Southern California, from the Tijuas out there, and he said what a difference a day makes. He said as soon as he got to Texas and out in all those other Midwest towns, all this Corona blues is done. He said he couldn't even believe it. It's over. Done, finito. They ain't even having it out there, you know? With that being said, we was out here in Tijuana, and these fools still checking your temperature like I'm going to come in there with the 101 temperature to go see a movie. That temperatura normal, you know? But he was telling me, he's like, man, it's so great. So he went out there and got him a little peace out spot, but he was back, so he went and saw Venom, and Venom got neutered. I'm not going to lie, Venom 1, dug it. Really dug it, liked how they did a nice balance and everything, but was scared that they were going to go to the sellout. And what they do a lot of times with the sellout movies, they just make it for kids. You're like, well, it's just a comic book. No, you got to understand, Venom was made popular, especially Carnage, in the 90s with kids like me. I'm 42. I'd like to see a dark, cool Venom with all the special effects, CGI, and everything they have. But I felt like I was literally like, I would compare this movie to lower than the Spawn movie that they came out with in the 90s that had John Leguizamo, Mr. CRT advocate, Mr. Racist, the comedian that played the clown, which is fitting because he's nothing but a clown. Punk ass CRT pushing mother. But anyways, with that being said, they neutered Spawn in number 2. And let me tell you how. With that being said, if you're going to take your 12-year-olds, because this is a movie for 12-year-olds, and you're like, well, it's a comic book, Mike. Comic books can be great. Look at all those comic book movies we just got. I mean, they were awesome, you know? And sometimes I want to go and unplug my brain. But this one, you're really going to have to unplug it because they tried to turn Venom into a one-line comedian. And he tried to carry the movie with all of his one-liners. You know, it's cool when you got a one-liner, like maybe you got I'll be back. And you got to have it timed perfect, especially in the comic books. No, they forced it on you. It was a forcing on it, okay? And Venom turned out to be a whiny little bitch, okay? Basically, is what I saw. And it got really old really fast, all right? So let's get into it. Let's start with the guy that was the villain, all right? He was the dude that was the bartender or the bar back off of Norm's. I can't remember his name. I think he was 12 Monkey fame or something. I don't know who he is. The bald guy that was on Norm's that used to pour Cheers. I mean, he used to pour Norm that beer with like this much foam and like this much beer in it. And I could just hear Cliff Clavin. Well, Mikey, we're actually filming a show and we don't actually refrigerate. Shut up, Cliff. Sit down and shut up. Pour that man a proper beer there, wise guy. All right. So with that being said, it felt like you had to see. They wanted to create the sequel to Silence of the Lambs. Okay, that's what they were trying to create in this villain, right? And it was like, if I never watched Silence of the Lambs, I would just be lost, because that's what they were. He's like a serial killer, and he's starred in 12 Monkeys or movies like this, and you get it, right? And I was like, no, I don't really get it at all. And why does he hate this guy? Is this Charisse? Is this he's gonna with the lamb chops? And I was just feeling like the director was just lazy and just was like, you guys know the movie. You know, all you America. I just feel like some China guy going, they know the movies. They've all watched Silence of the Lamb Chops. And I'm like, well, thank goodness I have, because I kind of get what you're trying to create, but you did a very sloppy, lazy job in creating this villain. I did not buy it. I did not believe it. I did not understand the connection that he had with the Tom Hardy character, whatever his name was, the guy who was connected to Venom. Didn't get it. Didn't see it. First 30 minutes of the movie, you could have just cut it out and trashed it. Felt like I was watching an episode of The Odd Couple with these two. Actually, I felt like these two were in a loving relationship, which they had some weird, awkward scenes where Venom would pass through literally people, and they were kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that. Ooh, like weird sexual thing going on. It's kind of awkward, man. But between all the one-liners, I couldn't even keep up. They had a scene where it seemed like, I think his name's Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy and Venom had a lover spat. He was like, I felt like Elvis was going to come out there. And they had a lover spat. Send that letter in the mail, send it back, send it back, send it back. Lover spat, lover spat. And all it was to sell the TV. That's all it was. He's like, don't send that TV out the window. That's a $2,000 TV. You all know TV's about $100 now. And he threw the TV out the window so they can have that box right there. And they go, that's a nice TV. And the detective, oh, don't get me started with that detective. Now I want to get into coincidences. Too many whack-ass coincidences. It was like, what's that guy, Midnight Shaman or whatever he comes out with the movies, you know, with Bruce Willis, and they living in the field where he has all these coincidences, or like a movie like Fight Club where they have all these coincidences. It was just too obvious, all right? And let's talk about the other evil villain. The evil villain's beautiful, the love of his life, his light. My light. You know what her evil villain thing was? Why they had them all locked up in these weird hospitals? Of course, right now everything's got to be locked up in a hospital because, you know, the Rona. So the propaganda's still out there. Because you know why? Because she was like them liberal chicks out there with all her dreads and everything, and little coconut shells and whatever, seashells in her hair. And you know what her magical power, her villain power was? What? She yelled. She just yelled real loud. Be careful. And they had one guy go in there and give her lunch, and he had to put his headphones on with a special thing. And then they had the scientists just come stare at her. Be careful of this one. She yells very loud, like a liberal, like we caught this one at a BLM rally, multiple times screaming, be careful. And it just so happens to be that Carnage and Venom's problem was with screaming and loud yelling, and of course they end up in a church with the church bells, and then the detective shot her in the face that was transporting her, and for no reason she was just like, you were ready to die, and she just screams at him while she's being transported to some other facility for who knows what, and then just the scientist just comes and stares at her all the time. It was just too generically done. I was like, what kind of B-rated Venom Carnage comic book did you guys read from? But with that being said, yeah, Dan stole the show. I'm gonna say it. If it wasn't for Dan is going to marry homies that is the guy that Hardy or whatever, the main character, his, I guess, ex-wife or ex-girlfriend. It is Dan. He's the man she's gonna leave him for. They kind of played him off as lame. Dan stole the show. If it wasn't for Dan stealing this damn show, because he came and they tried to say Dan didn't have no balls, but Dan, in the middle of all this is going down, all the fights going down, finally they get to the fight scene after like 9 hours of sitting there and watching, like, can we get to some action already? Because this is an action comic book movie. Finally, Dan comes and he's lighting the dude on fire. He got the fire, he's got the gasoline, he's pouring. I was like, you go, Dan. Dan stole the show. Thank you, Dan. You saved that movie for me, man. But if I'm going to give this movie a rating, I'd say take your kids to it, because this was nothing but a kid's movie. They sold out. The Venom one was really good. Nicely did. I'd give that like a 7.9. This one I give a 4.5. That's going to be my rating. Pretty lame. I'd wait for Netflix. It's just one line after the next. They try to make Venom a comedian. He's not a comedian. He's a bloodthirsty thing. And even when they did, oh my God, there was like a 10-minute before they got in their lover spat. He was like, I want to eat brains and heads and stuff. And then he's like, well, eat the chicken. I can't eat the chickens. They had 2 chickens for some reason. It's just lame. It was like, is Carrot Top gonna come out and start doing jokes and pull out his big bag and be like, ooh, that's Sonny and Cher. We can't eat those chickens. Oh man. Wait for Netflix. Smoke a bowl before you watch this one. Cause it was a letdown. 4.5 at the max. And that's being nice. And that's saying take your kids to it. As far as the first Venom, I give it a 7.9, almost an 8. As far as comic movies go, it was pretty damn good. The second one, sellout movie. China all over it. China had its fingerprints all over this. Thanks, China, for ruining another thing. Thanks. Anyway, with that being said, peace out. More movie reviews coming. Oh, another highlight. That Dune movie looks pretty cool. The lead actor that's supposed to be the Messiah. But at least the Jason Momoa, I think his name is, the Aquaman. He's a very cool looking dude. I like he's a good actor. I like that guy. And then I like the little girl from Spider-Man. So that's coming. That'll probably be the next one. We'll go see, do a movie review. A big fan of Dune. Love the original ones. Anyway, with that being said, peace out. Talk to you later.